Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Madera City Council, Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. City Clerk Gonzalez.
The Madera City Council meetings are open to the public. This meeting will also be available for public viewing and participation through Zoom. Members of the public may also observe the live stream meeting on the city's website at www.madera.gov/live. Members of the public may comment on agenda items at the meeting or remotely through an electronic meeting via phone by dialing 669-900-6833, enter ID 851-7262-8461 #. Press *9 to raise your hand to comment and *6 to unmute yourself to speak. Comments will also be accepted via email at citycouncilpubliccomment@madera.gov or by regular mail at 205 West 4th Street, Madera, California 93637. We'd also like to remind the public that Wordly is available for translation services.
Thank you for that. I call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gallegos.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez.
Here.
Councilmember Zachariah.
Here.
Councilmember Montes.
Here.
Councilmember Evans is absent. Councilmember Mejia is absent, and Councilmember Villegas.
Here.
Thank you for that. I would just like to take a moment to let everyone know Councilwoman Evans isn't feeling well this evening and she will be excused from this meeting. With that, could you please stand for an invocation by Pastor Joe, Awakening Church of God. Thank you for being here tonight.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. Always a joy to be here. In honor of 4th of July, I'd like to read Psalm 119, verse 45. I will walk in freedom, for I have devoted myself to your commandments. Let us pray. Lord, thank you. Thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for all that you have given us. Thank you for the privileges that we have to be part of this amazing community, Lord, of this amazing country. Lord, I pray for this meeting. I pray for our city leaders. I pray for the dialogue that will happen. I pray that you dwell in it. Lord God, lead us to make the right decisions, Lord, the decisions that are for the benefit of the people. Lord God, give peace and resolve to our leaders. I thank you, God, for all that you are doing. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing for the flag salute.
Ready? Salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that pledge of allegiance, Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez. Moving on to approval of the agenda, I bring it to my colleagues for any changes or concerns. If not, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Make a motion?
I believe there's some changes.
Could we actually withdraw item B6 from the agenda before it is approved?
You don't want to do that at the consent time?
We can do it now or we can do it at consent, but if it's actually being removed from the agenda,
Okay.
we can do it now.
So we're asking to remove B6 from the agenda. Could you motion that with B6 being removed?
Yes.
Okay, and I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Approval of the agenda. Thank you for that. We have no presentations. Moving on, City Clerk Gonzalez.
The first 15 minutes of the meeting are reserved for members of the public to speak, to address the council on items which are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. Speakers shall be limited to 3 minutes. Speakers will be asked but are not required to identify themselves and state the subject of their comments. If the subject is an item on the agenda, the mayor has the option of asking the speaker to hold the comment until that item is called. Comments on items listed as a public hearing on the agenda should be held until the hearing is opened. The council is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusions should be drawn if the council does not respond to public comment at this time.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the House that would like to do public comment? Please come up to the podium at this time. I see none. Do we have anybody online or on Zoom?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you. At this time, I close public comment and moving on to the next item.
Section A is public hearings. Item A1 is public hearing and consideration of a resolution confirming the diagram and assessments for the annual levy of citywide landscape and lighting assessment district and authorizing the city engineer to file the diagram and assessment with the auditor of Madera County.
Thank you. And that will be presented by our administrative analyst, Say. Come on up. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Let me get my presentation ready for you here. Just double one. Perfect. Thank you. I had to call in the big guns. No. Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right, thank you, Mayor Council. Tonight is the second meeting of the Landscape Maintenance District Annual Engineers Report process. Just a little background first. Beginning in 1991, as projects were approved, they were annexed into the city's LMD program. Today, there are 80 active zones of benefits within the city as Landscape and Lighting District program. Areas developed prior to this date are not subject to the assessment. Assessments are collected as part of property taxes to maintain common landscape areas. Rates were set when the zones were established, as was the maximum amount they may be charged. And to exceed or raise the maximum amount, a majority of parcels in the zone must vote in the affirmative. The history of the engineer's report is that it's prepared on an annual basis, incorporates past expenses, revenue, projected expenses, and projected revenues, and makes recommendations on adjustments to assessments based on data provided by the finance department that is populated in the city's accounting system, Munis. The recommended action for tonight would be to conduct a public hearing and receive any public comment and adopt a resolution to confirm the diagram and assessments as set forth in the engineer's report, levy the assessments set forth in the engineer's report, authorize the city clerk to file the engineer's report with the Madera County Assessor's Auditor's Office, and authorize the city engineer in consultation with the city clerk and city attorney to make any clerical corrections. With that, I conclude my presentation.
Thank you. I'll bring it back to my colleagues for any questions or concerns. I see none. At this time, I open up for public comment. Public hearing, excuse me. I see none. Do we have anybody online or on Zoom?
We have none, Mayor.
Okay, I bring it back to my colleagues for a motion on A1.
Move to approve item A1. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes unanimously. Thank you for that, Administrative Assistant Say.
Thank you.
Item A2, public hearing to consider declaration of nuisances and abatement order for overgrown weeds.
And that will be presented by Code Enforcement Supervisor Mendoza. Come on up. Welcome. I might need your assistance here, Alicia. Okay. If anybody's wondering, it's a little tricky because we've got to make sure people online can see what's happening and so that you all see it here. So there's a lot of extra clicks you got to make sure so they get to see it just like we get to see it. Thank you, City Clerk.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Alicia. Okay, so I'm Claudia Mendoza, Code Enforcement Supervisor, and tonight I'm going to be presenting a public hearing to consider the declaration of nuisances and abatement order of overgrown weeds. So what is weed abatement? The purpose is to prevent fire hazards. It's only for vacant lots. This does not include properties that have structures on them or fences around them. This is just vacant lots. So parcels will be abated by a contractor at the owner's expense. Fence properties, or like I mentioned, properties with structures are not included. Why is it important? Well, it prevents fires, protects the health and safety of the public. It keeps the right of ways accessible. prevents property damage to abutting properties, and it discourages illegal dumping and encampments. It also reduces blight. So the weed abatement code says in summary that having overgrown vegetation on a vacant lot or the perimeter of the property is a public nuisance. If the violation persists after the deadline, the city will hire a contractor who will abate the violation at the owner's cost. So the process is every year code enforcement updates a listing of vacant properties by conducting research to determine if a property ownership has changed or if it started construction. And we also include newly annexed properties. The inspections are conducted to determine if the property is in violation. So sometimes it drops off. I think last year we had about 325 properties, and this year's there's 375 that we had on our abatement. So on April 28th, vacant lot owners were mailed a 45-day notice of violation and given a deadline of June 12th to bring the properties into compliance. Re-inspections were conducted throughout the month of June, and any properties that remain in violation were issued administrative citations. So today's public hearing will determine if we move forward with the abatement of the properties. If approved, the Code Enforcement Department will proceed in hiring a contractor to abate the weeds, rubbish, and any remaining debris. The property owners will be charged a $200 administrative fee in addition to the contractor's costs. If the property owner does not pay, a lien may be placed on the property. So, like I mentioned, we inspected 375 parcels. Of these, 15 remain in violation. And so those are the ones that we are proposing to abate. Here is a map. The red pins identify the locations of the lots. We are moving forward with abatement. And these are the properties that are out of compliance. So our recommendation is to conduct a public hearing and adopt a resolution ordering the abatement. And also there are some properties I can show additional information. So this one's on 1013 East Yosemite Avenue. It's a 1.24 parcel that's on the 1000 block of East Yosemite, and it's adjacent to the Fresno River. Often has homeless encampments on it. They hide in the brush and debris at this location. This one's on E Street, it's overgrown and a fire hazard. It's a 0.17 acre parcel on the 700 block of E Street near East 12th Street. This one is a 9.87 acre property that's located at East Olive and Roosevelt. It looks like they attempted to do a fire break, but around the perimeter of the property, weeds still remain. This is a 1.71 acre property. It's behind the Goodwill store. Same thing. It looked like they attempted to do a fire break, but there is still weeds and some debris. This one is a 0.5 acre lot on Clark between Country Club and Owens. It looks like there was no attempt to correct that violation. This one is on the East Cleveland and Austin. It's a 4.12 acre property. It appears it's been cleaned somewhat, but as you could tell in the pictures that were taken yesterday, yeah, there's still a lot to go. This one's on 1218 East Cleveland. This one is near the Meadows Mobile Home Park and next to the Fresno River. It's high risk for fires. There's lots of encampments in this area. And it looks like they attempted to make cleanup, but as you can tell, there's new growth. This is a 0.9 acre lot on the corner of Ellis and Country Club Drive. This is a 1.65 acre parcel on the corner of Avenue 16 and Schnorr. The 2.9 acre lot on Almond and South Madera. Some of the property doesn't have weeds, but around the perimeter, there is weeds and some debris. Same with this. It looks like there was an attempt made to clean the parcel, but there is new growth happening. A 4.38 acre lot on Gary and Emily. This one is 2.39 acres on Emily near Hoya Drive. 1.54 acre lot on the 1000 block of Barnett Way near the dead end. This is also on the 1000 block of Barnett Way. It's a 8.42 acre lot. As you can see, this one abuts an apartment complex. It is at the dead end of Clemenson Avenue. It's a 3.72 acre lot. So that concludes the presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Thank you. We do have one. Council Member Zachariah.
Sure, just to understand, so with the process, are these property owners, is there a start date? Because I know like in the county, they have until May 1st, for instance, to abate their weeds. Is there a date that they're now in violation? And then do notices go out to notify them that they're in violation? Or I guess what's the process there?
So typically, they're supposed to keep the lots clean all year long. This is the only time of year that we will move forward with a public hearing and abatement process. But we typically try to give at least 3 months before it gets really bad, like this time of year where there's fireworks. So we start in the spring. This year, we started our inspections like at the end of February. There's 370 something lots, so it takes us a little bit to do some research and get that going. But in addition to everything else we do. So we start in the spring, and our notices were mailed out in April, so April 28th. And that gave them 45 days, with that 45-day period ending on June 12th. So there's no real like set day. It's we start, adjusting for when the council meetings are held, and so that's how our process usually works. There's no set date.
Yeah, and then to what level will they be expected after you guys, if you guys handle it? Because I know obviously some are trying to mow it. Is it a full disking, or I mean, what's to the city's expectations as far as the conditions after you guys would leave, for instance?
Well, we expect that the lots are cut down, and what an acceptable length is like under 8 inches. We expect the perimeter to be clean, so we're going to do that as well. Any trash debris clippings will be taken. If there's any homeless encampments on these lots, those will be taken as well. So, and we expect all lots to look like that. Now, unfortunately, sometimes even after we send out our 45-day notice, some lots sell. And ownership has changed. They don't meet the 45-day period, so we'll have to go after them, public nuisance, and we'll issue citations in that case. But and we'll expect them, same thing, to bring the lots down. We don't expect them to disc, although sometimes they do, which is great. But there's some lots that cannot accommodate that. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Mendoza, I just have one question really fast. The 15 that we're abating, it does take staff time to do that and make sure somebody goes out and clears that lot. So my question to you is, I don't know if you can answer this tonight. Are these 15 lots, are they repeated offenders? Because sometimes I'm thinking owners are just going to let the city handle it, let them clean it. They're going to do it and I'll just pay it. But they're going to pay for that to be clean, but they're not paying for our staff time to go out and do the notice of violation and keep going out and checking. If there's something that we need to do as a council to make sure that if they're repeat offenders, that maybe we are tacking on a different fine because it's taking staff time and money every year. The same owners are doing the same thing. So I don't know if that's something you can answer. You can get back to the council with that.
Well, there is the $250 administrative fee that's attached to each one that we do abate, but those are the ones we abate. That's not the ones that are in violation now. So that might take a change in the fee schedule or the ordinance to include any additional costs in that. But yes, there are a couple of repeat offenders on this list. That's what you wanted to know.
I think Chief.
Gino Tremonti, Chief of Police, just stepping in on that one. If that is something that the council would like to give further direction on, we will look into municipal code changes. That's what it would take, is to identify repeat offenders and have a different fine system related to that. But as of right now, we have the basic administrative fee, and that's the only fine that goes out on top of the abatement costs.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other questions? I see none. At this time, I'll open it for a public hearing. If anybody in the audience would like to come forward. I see none. Anyone online on Zoom?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you, City Clerk Gonzalez. With that, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to my colleagues for a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Supervisor Mendoza, for that
Thank you.
presentation.
Yes,
Next-
we'll get to, we'll start tomorrow and getting that vendor out there and start cleaning up.
All right, thank you. Next item.
Item A3, public hearing regarding annexation number 15, tract 24-S-02, TSM 2024-04, Colette Martin subdivision into Community Facilities District number 2005-1 under the Mello-Roos Community Facilities Act of 1982 and related actions.
Thank you for that. And that will be presented by our Senior Planner Smith. Are you there, Mr. Smith? Yes.
Yes, Mayor. Apologies, just in the video working. Yeah, good evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members. This is the annexation number 16 for approximately a 6-acre development for the purpose of a 51-lot residential subdivision on the southwest corner of Adele and D Street. The proposed annexation was presented.
Senior Planner Smith.
So sorry, we have a special process that we need to follow on this. We have a script that goes along. I'm so sorry. And so the public hearing has to be open before staff makes the presentation in this particular case.
Okay. Okay, Senior Planner, here we go. I now open the public hearing for annexation number 15 regarding the annexation of territory to Community Facility District CFD number 2005-01. City Clerk?
I declare that the notice of public hearing was published on June 21st, 2025.
Thank you for that. And now, Senior Planner Smith, this is my first go around. It's your turn to give that report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. So this, as described, this is annexation 15 for the Colette Martin subdivision. The project was seen previously by the City Council on May the 21st, at which point they adopted the resolution declaring the intention to annex the territory into the CFD. The proposed project is for a 51-lot single-family residential subdivision, and the recommendation before you this evening is to hold the public hearing, authorize the annexation of the territory, authorize a special tax, and submit the levy of tax to the qualified electors, conduct the election, and then adopt the resolution certifying the findings and declaring the certification of the results of the election. With that, staff concludes their presentation and are available for questions if you have them.
Perfect, thank you. I now open the hearing to protests, comments, or questions from interested parties. Okay, I see none. City Clerk, are there any written protests or do you have any declarations?
I declare no written protests were received by the city, that there were less than 12 registered voters within the territory to be annexed into Community Facilities District 2005-01, that written consents to holding the Community Facilities District elections today have been received from all landowners within the proposed annexation number 15, and that I concur with the holding of the special election for annexation number 15.
Thank you for that. I now close the public hearing. Is there any decisions from the council or discussions? No discussions? Is there a motion to adopt resolution authorizing the annexation, authorizing the levy of a special tax, and submitting the levy of the tax to qualified electors?
I make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, the resolution is adopted. City Clerk?
Okay. I will now conduct the election.
Drum roll, please.
One ballot has been received. I now close the election and announce the results. As to annexing the property under annexation number 15 to CFD number 2005-01, there's one yes vote, 0 no votes. I declare the annexation passes unanimously. Council, you may proceed to consider adoption of the resolution declaring the election results.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution declaring this election results, adding the territory as annexation number 15 to CFD 2005-1, and authorizing the levy of special tax?
To adopt. I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Oh, sorry, I got to read the correct words. The motion to adopt the resolution certifying the results of the elections, adding the territory to annexation number 15 to CFD 2005-01, and authorizing the levy of special taxes passed by a voter of 1-0.
And that would be a vote of the city council 5-0,
Oh,
right?
5-0. Oh, sorry. I thought that was their vote. Oh, our votes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, City Planner Smith. Moving on to the next item.
Item A4, public hearing regarding annexation number 16, tract 24-S-01, TSM 2024-02, Adele subdivision into Community Facilities District number 2005-1 under the Mello-Roos Community Facilities Act of 1982 and related actions.
Thank you for that. I now open the public hearing for annexation number 16 regarding the annexation of territories to Community Facility District CFD number 2005-01.
I declare that the notice of public hearing was published on June 21st, 2025.
Thank you for that. And I will turn it over to our Senior Planner Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members. This is the election for the annexation of number 16, the Adele subdivision. This project is for approximately 5 acres for a 42-unit residential subdivision on the northeast side of D Street and Adele Street. The City Council heard the proposed election for this annexation on May 21st and adopted the resolution to move forward with the election. The recommendation for this evening is for the City Council to authorise the annexation of the territory, authorising the special tax and submitting the levy of tax to the qualified electors, conducting the election and then adopting the resolution, making the certain findings, declaring and certifying the results of the election. Staff are available for questions should you have them. Otherwise, I'll pass it back to you. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. I now open this hearing to protests, comments, or questions for interested parties. I see none in the House. City Clerk, are there any written protests or do you have any declarations?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you.
I declare no written protests were received by the city, that there are less than 12 registered voters within the territory to be annexed into Community Facility Districts 2005-01, that written consents to holding the Community Facilities District elections today have been received from all landowners within the proposed annexation number 16, and that I concur with the holding of the special election for annexation number 16.
I now close the public hearing. Is there any discussion from the council? Is there a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing the annexation, authorizing the levy of a special tax, and submitting the levy of a tax to a qualified electors?
I'll move to approve.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, the resolution is adopted.
One ballot has been received. I now close the election and announce the results. As to annexing the property under annexation number 16 to CFD number 2005-01. There's one yes vote and 0 no votes. I declare the annexation passes unanimously. Council, you may proceed to consider adoption of the resolution declaring the election results.
Thank you for that. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution declaring the election results, adding territory as annexation number 16 to CFD 2005-1, and authorizing the levy of a special tax? Have a motion?
Move to adopt. I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes unanimously. The motion to adopt this resolution certifying the results of the election, adding the territory of annexation number 16 to CFD 2005-1, and authorizing the levy of special taxes passed by a vote 5-0. Thank you, Senior Planner Smith, for your work. Okay, moving on to the next item, City Clerk Gonzalez.
Moving on to consent calendar. Matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, a member of the public or a member of the council may request an item be removed from the consent calendar and it will be considered separately.
All right, I bring it back to my colleagues for any questions or concerns. I see none. At this time, I open up for public comment. Are there anyone online or on Zoom?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you. I will close public comment on this time and bring it back to my colleagues for a motion.
To approve.
Second.
There was a removal of B6.
Correct.
Okay, so with that.
Thank you for that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
And Mayor, we have no workshops. We move on to Section D, petitions, bids, resolutions, ordinances, and agreements. Item D1 is consultant services agreement with Westwood Professional Services, Inc. for Tozer Park design and engineering services.
Thank you. And that'll be presented by our Parks Director, Aber. Welcome.
All right, then moving right along. Joe Hebert, presenting item D1. You might recall this item from the last council meeting when we went over the CIP projects. So just to make a long story short, before I go through the presentation, basically this is for the design services portion of the project that I mentioned a couple weeks ago. So the background of this is, as I mentioned, the city owns underdeveloped property located on the northwest corner of Tozier and Fig Street. This 0.69 acres are designated for public neighborhood park, which is going to be called Tozier Park. Initially, a developer, Crown Development, was going to construct the park, and the city was going to reimburse the company, but staff identified a potential grant opportunity. You can see the space right there where I have highlighted. So that's where the potential place for the park to be. The city has been awarded, yay, a total of $659,640 by the ORLEP grant towards the completion of this project. The grant requires a 50% match by the city, which will be covered by the park's development impact fees. This grant is being reimbursed based. The city must cover the upfront costs for design, engineering, and construction. The city is eligible for reimbursement of up to the half of this, which was the $659,640 through the grant. On April 7th of this year, we released an RFQ for Tozier Park for the design engineering services portions. Bids were due on May 12th. We received 11 bids and with one non-responsive bids after review. The grant performance period for the funding ends on June 30th, 2027, with the city required to meet the following objectives. This again, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, under 8 regulation size soccer field, basketball and pickleball courts, a park course loop, and there's designated space for fitness and exercise equipment, playground area with a designated picnic area and gathering space, and with an overhead shade structure. A committee of staff, we individually reviewed the proposals. The committee members' evaluation included reviewing the following criteria per the RFQ process. Overall experience and qualifications in park design and construction, experience and availability of key personnel, quality and understanding of an end project approach. You can kind of see the results there. The clear winner on this was Westwood Professional Services. The next closest was Blair Church and Flynn. So we're going with Westwood, as you can imagine. Westwood was ranked highest by the review committee out of the 10 proposals, representing the best value for the city. They were established in 1972, and they're a full-service, multidisciplinary professional design and engineering firm providing services to public and private clients. They have over 1,900 staff members located across the United States and registration in most states, and they're recognized as one of the top design and engineering firms in the country. Local experience, we've dealt with them before, so some of these projects might look familiar to you. Centennial Park. Actually, I didn't know they had done this actually until we got rooted in this, and they said, "Yeah, we did the park you're sitting at." And so it's kind of a cool conversation. But they've done Knox Park, Frank Burgon Senior Center, the McNally Park's basketball courts. They've done sidewalks improvements, and then Valley Children's Hospital Park, and over 15 parks and recreation spaces for the city of Fresno. The city has worked, as I mentioned, has worked with Westwood, and it should be noted that we've got a pretty good working relationship with them, and we haven't had any issues to date. For fiscal year 25 and 26, the project cost of Tozier has been budgeted in the Parks Grant Fund, and then the number is 41096,132. The city match is budgeted. It's in the development impact fees 408,800,000. The grant budget narrative submitted during the grant award phase included $172,082 in an allowable project cost for the professional services for this effort. As you can see, the estimated cost there is 172, and that leaves us a total project cost of 1,319,280. And I think we should be able to stay within budget on this. Then again, you see the city match that's pending, which will be a 659,640. Our recommendation is that we move forward with the consultant services agreement with Westwood Professional Services, and that's the end of my presentation for 171,205.
All right, thank you for that report. I'll bring it back to my colleagues for any questions or concerns. I know our city manager has something he'd like to share with us. City clerk, my buttons. Oh, okay, sorry, thank you. My colleagues have no questions. I will open it up for public comment. Anyone online or on Zoom?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you. I will close public comment at this time and ask for a motion and a second.
I'll move to approve D1.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Parks Director Aber, for that report.
Okay, we'll double check on the acreage. I might have had a
Okay.
misrepresent that as 0.69. It might be 1.7. I'm not completely sure, but I'll double check
Okay,
on that.
perfect. And that is the first park that will have a pickleball court.
Yeah, we mentioned that before.
Ooh, put that on record.
So that's a big darn deal for us. I
Yes.
get a lot of calls about that.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to the next item, City Clerk Gonzalez.
We have nothing under administrative reports. Section F is council member reports, announcements, and future agenda items. This portion of the meeting is reserved for the mayor and council members to make brief reports on boards, committees, and other public agencies, and at public events, to request updates, to initiate future agenda items, and to take action on matters initiated under this section of the agenda. Under this section, the council may take action only on items specifically agendized and which meet other requirements for action.
Thank you. I will turn over to my right, Council Member Zachariah. Anything to report?
Just your last invitation. It's going to be a nice cool 95 on Friday. So if you want to come join us for the fireworks, we'll be out there. Doors open at 5, and it should be a nice day.
All right. Thank you for that. Council Member Montez.
So hopefully everybody has a safe and sane Independence Day and associated celebrations that go along with it.
All right. Thank you. Council Member Rodriguez.
Same invitation, come out, 4th of July spectacular at the district fairgrounds. Admission again is free. Parking is free. Bring your lawn chairs, have a good time. We'll be out there enjoying the spectacular. I'll have.
All right. Thank you. Council Member Villegas.
Oh, nothing to report.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. First thing is we've had a lot of ribbon cuttings in the city, so congratulate all those businesses that are opening and staff working so hard to get them opened. A special prayer out to our fire personnel and police personnel will be working on the 4th. You'll be very, very busy, so we'll be praying for safety for everybody across the board. And one last thing is congratulations to Dr. Cecilia Massetti is retiring after 46 years as our superintendent of schools. And job well done. We're going to surely miss her. So we thank her for serving our residents in this community in all those years. And with that, I will close council reports. And our future next meeting will be Wednesday, July 16th. 2025. With that, I adjourn the meeting at 6:40. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.